Are you over 60 and still trying to eat healthy, but feel weaker each year? You're not alone. Many people your age are doing everything right, eating low, fat, counting calories, loading up on veggies, yet they're losing strength, energy, and muscle every single month. The shocking truth. You've probably been ignoring the one real food that your muscles are literally crying out for. It's not expensive, it's not exotic, and it's not what the food industry is advertising to you. Doctors rarely talk about it because it doesn't make pharmaceutical companies any money. But if you start eating it regularly, it can literally wake up your muscle building switches. Even if you're 70 or 80, I've seen people who could barely lift a grocery bag regain the power to hike, garden, and live pain-free again, not because of protein shakes or supplements, but because they return to real human food. So, before you reach for another high-protein cereal or synthetic powder, let me show you what your muscles truly need and why your body might be starving for it right now, even if you think you're eating well. When you reach your 60s, something subtle but powerful begins happening inside your body. The strength you once took for granted starts slipping away. Climbing stairs feels heavier. Carrying groceries becomes a little more tiring. The balance you once had starts to fade. Most people shrug and say, well, that's just aging. But it isn't that simple. What's really happening isn't inevitable. It's preventable. It's not age tearing down your muscle. It's the lack of the right kind of nutrition feeding it. For decades, we've been told to eat the heart-healthy way, low fat, low meat, full of grains and vegetables. Doctors and nutrition experts have pushed that message hard. The problem is, your muscles can't survive on that kind of diet. Muscles don't grow or repair from fiber or cereal. They're built from protein, real, complete protein that comes from animal foods like beef, fish, eggs, and dairy. Those foods contain the essential amino acids your body can't make on its own. Without them, your muscles slowly break down even if you're still active. Here's what most people don't realize. The older you get, the less efficient your body becomes at absorbing and using protein. When you were young, your body could handle a smaller amount and still build strong muscle. But past 60, your digestive system, hormones, and enzymes aren't as quick. It takes more high-quality protein to get the same muscle-building effect. Unfortunately, the advice most older adults hear is the exact opposite. Cut back on meat, eat more plants, and avoid fat, so you end up eating a plate that looks healthy but leaves your muscles starving. Whole grains, salads, and fruit bowls might fill your stomach, but they don't feed your tissue. Over time, your body starts breaking down its own muscle to survive. That's when people start noticing weakness, thin arms, soft legs, slower walking, and poor posture. It doesn't happen overnight. It creeps up little by little. And most people blame time instead of the real cause. It's not that your body forgets how to build muscle. It's that it's missing the raw materials to do it. Think of it like trying to build a house without enough bricks. No matter how hard the builders work, they can't finish the job. In the same way, your body can't repair or grow muscle if it doesn't get enough high-quality amino acids from animal foods. And it's not just about looks. Muscle is life. It protects your bones, keeps your metabolism strong, supports balance, and prevents falls. When muscle fades, so does independence. You can't move the same way, your energy drops, and even your immune system weakens. That's why so many older adults end up frail or tired. They've been following the wrong, healthy diet. The truth is the foods you were told to avoid might be the very ones your body needs most now. Red meat, eggs, and fish are not the villains they've been made out to be. They're dense with protein and nutrients your body can actually use. When you start eating them again, your muscles notice. You feel stronger, steadier, more alive. Your body isn't broken, it's just underfed. When you give it the right kind of fuel, it knows exactly what to do. The strength you thought was gone forever starts to return. Energy comes back. The heaviness in your movements lightens. That's not luck or youth. It's nutrition working the way it's supposed to. There's one food that almost everyone over 60 overlooks, even though it has been known for centuries as nature's most powerful strength builder. It's not a supplement or a protein powder. It's something your grandparents and great-grandparents used to eat without even realizing how vital it was. I'm talking about organ meats, liver, heart, and kidney. These aren't fancy or modern foods. They're old school, natural sources of complete nutrition that once kept entire generations strong and healthy well into old age. For thousands of years, humans understood something modern nutrition has forgotten. They didn't waste any part of an animal because they knew each part offered unique nourishment. The liver, in particular, was considered sacred in many cultures. Hunters would eat it first, sometimes raw, because they believed it transferred strength and vitality. Modern science now confirms what they already knew. Organ meats, especially beef liver, are among the most nutrient-dense foods on the planet. A small serving of liver provides more usable protein and key nutrients than almost any modern health food. Just a few ounces of beef liver contain powerful levels of vitamin A, B12, iron, zinc, copper, and folate, nutrients that support your metabolism, muscle function, and energy production. In fact, liver offers roughly 20 times more usable protein, building nutrition than eggs. Those vitamins and minerals don't just feed your muscles, they power up the machinery that keeps your body running, your mitochondria, hormones, red blood cells, and enzymes. Every system that helps your muscles rebuild depends on those nutrients being available. Now compare that to the foods being marketed to older adults today. Protein cereals, plant-based patties, fortified shakes, they sound impressive, but they can't come close. Most of them are built on incomplete plant proteins that don't contain the essential amino acids your body must have to trigger real muscle repair. Even if the label says 20 grams of protein, that doesn't mean your body can use all of it. Animal proteins, especially from organ meats, come in the exact ratios your body recognizes. When you eat them, your body doesn't struggle to digest or convert them, it absorbs them and puts them straight to work. This is why so many people notice dramatic changes when they add liver back into their meals. It's not some miracle cure. It's simply giving your body what it's been missing for years. Those nutrients refill the gaps that modern processed diets created. Energy levels rise, mental clarity returns, muscles feel more responsive and less fatigued. Even sleep improves because the body finally has the right building blocks to repair itself properly. Most people don't eat liver anymore because they're not used to it or they think it tastes too strong. But it doesn't take much to make a difference. Mixing a small amount of liver into ground beef or slow cooking it with onions once a week is enough to start seeing changes. You don't have to overhaul your entire diet. You just have to bring back the foods that actually nourish you. Think about it, for most of human history, people didn't have supplements or fortified foods. They didn't rely on powders or pills. They thrived on real, whole foods that naturally contained everything their bodies needed. Organ meats were a cornerstone of that diet, and that's exactly why ancient populations were strong, lean, and resilient. Even without modern medicine, when you provide your body with these traditional, nutrient-dense foods, something powerful happens. You stop surviving and start rebuilding. You're no longer just feeding your stomach. You're fueling the systems that keep you alive and strong. Your body remembers how to function at its best because this is the food it was designed for. A lot of people reach a certain age and start filling their cabinets with bottles of supplements and tubs of protein powder. It feels like the responsible thing to do. You're told these products will keep you strong, energized, and healthy. But here's the uncomfortable truth. You can't replace real food with man-made shortcuts. The supplement industry has built an empire on convincing people that a pill or powder can do what a steak or egg used to do. It sounds convenient, but biology doesn't work that way. When you eat a real piece of food, say a piece of steak or a serving of liver, you're taking in more than just protein or a vitamin. You're getting hundreds of natural cofactors working in perfect sync, enzymes that help digestion, minerals that balance absorption, fats that stabilize hormones, and amino acids that rebuild tissue. Every bite of real food is a complex system designed by nature. Your body recognizes it instantly. A supplement, on the other hand, is a single, isolated fragment. It might look impressive on the label, but it doesn't behave the same once it's inside you. Take synthetic vitamins, for example. A tablet might claim to contain the same amount of vitamin B12 as beef, but the form used in that pill is often one your body can barely absorb. Real food B12 comes with natural carriers, proteins and enzymes that help it reach your cells efficiently. Without those, much of what you swallow passes through unused. The same goes for minerals like iron or zinc. The versions found in meat are bound to compounds that make absorption easy. The versions in pills often cause stomach upset or simply don't get absorbed. That's why so many people still feel sluggish or weak, even though they're taking everything they're supposed to. Plant-based protein powders have their own problem. They may contain a long list of amino acids, but several of the most critical ones are missing or too low to trigger muscle repair. Animal proteins are complete and balanced. Your body knows exactly what to do with them. But when you rely on processed powders, your muscles get half the message. You might get a small energy boost, but not the strength, recovery, or endurance you were hoping for. Another common fear people have is that eating too much protein will damage their kidneys. That myth has been repeated so many times it's become accepted without question. Yet study after study shows that in healthy individuals, quality animal protein actually protects kidney function. Maintaining strong, lean muscle helps regulate metabolism and stabilizes blood sugar. What really stresses the kidneys isn't meat. It's the constant flood of refined carbohydrates and sugar so common in modern diets. When you remove those and replace them with real, nourishing food, kidney health and muscle strength both improve. It's easy to see why supplements are tempting. They promise results without effort, but what your body truly needs can't be manufactured in a lab. Real food contains not only the main nutrients, but the natural synergy that makes them work together. Fats that help absorb vitamins, minerals that activate enzymes, and amino acids that trigger repair. Each bite communicates with your body in a language it understands. Powders and capsules only speak in fragments. If you've been relying on supplements for energy, strength, or recovery, take a step back and look at what's missing from your plate. Ask yourself if the food you're eating could have come from nature without a label or a barcode. Meat, fish, eggs, organs, And healthy animal fats don't need marketing. They've sustained humans for thousands of years without needing to be processed, powdered, or promoted. The path back to true vitality doesn't come from adding more pills. It comes from returning to the kind of food your body already knows how to use. Every bite of real nutrient-dense food tells your cells, here's what you've been missing. And when they finally get it, your body responds exactly the way it was designed to, by getting stronger, steadier, and more alive. I've watched people who thought their best days were behind them completely turn their lives around just by changing what they ate. Men and women in their 70s and 80s who could barely get out of a chair are now lifting, walking, and living with energy again. They didn't find some secret supplement or new medication. They simply went back to eating real food, the kind their bodies were built to run on. When they dropped the processed, carb-heavy meals and replaced them with nutrient-dense animal foods, their energy returned, their joints loosened, and their confidence came back. One man told me he hadn't been able to pick up his grandkids in years. His arms felt weak, and his back hurt constantly. He thought that was just what aging did to him. But a few months after bringing beef, liver, and eggs back into his diet, he could lift them again, not with strain, but with joy. He said it felt like he had been given a piece of his life back. Another woman in her late 60s had given up long walks because of knee pain. Her doctor told her to eat low fat and focus on grains. That advice kept her weak and inflamed. When she switched to real, ancestral foods, her body responded. Within weeks, she was walking every morning, pain-free and proud of herself. Stories like these aren't rare. They happen every day when people stop fighting their biology and start feeding it correctly. The human body is incredibly intelligent. Even after decades of poor advice and processed food, it remembers how to heal and rebuild when given the right fuel. Your DNA already carries the blueprint for strength, balance, and recovery. But those systems only activate when you give your body what it truly needs. Complete proteins, healthy fats, minerals, and rest. It's not about doing extreme workouts or living in the gym. Real progress starts with small, consistent choices. Eat real food, stay hydrated, get good sleep, and move your body a little every day. Even simple resistance like bodyweight squats, lifting light weights, or carrying your own groceries keeps your muscles awake and your metabolism active. The food fuels the recovery, and the movement tells your body where to build that strength. You'll notice it in the small things first, standing up from a chair without bracing yourself, walking longer distances without getting tired, or carrying bags with ease. Then you'll start to see it in your reflection, better posture, steadier balance, brighter skin. These changes aren't superficial, they're signs that your body is coming back to life. Real food has that power. It nourishes from the inside out. People often underestimate how deeply nutrition affects everything, not just muscle, but mood, focus, and even the will to move. When you eat in a way that supports your biology, your brain sharpens and your motivation returns. That's why older adults who start eating properly often say they feel decades younger. Their body finally has the resources to do what it was always designed to do. The truth is, muscle isn't about vanity or appearance. It's protection. Strong muscles guard your bones, stabilize your joints, balance your blood sugar, and keep your metabolism alive. Losing muscle isn't just getting weaker. It's losing one of your body's main defenses against aging and disease. Every bite of real food you eat is an investment in your independence, your energy, and your future self. You don't need anything fancy or complicated. You just need the basics that humans have thrived on for thousands of years. Steak, liver, eggs, butter, fish, real unprocessed foods that contain everything your body requires to rebuild and stay strong. Once you return to them, you'll understand what real nourishment feels like. It's not a temporary boost or a diet trick. It's the natural rhythm of your body remembering its own strength.